What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and we're still covering everything that happened at San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend because so much was revealed for Marvel Studios' Hall H panel. Yesterday, we went over the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer footage that was shown during Hall H, and today we are going to be going over the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania footage that was shown that includes Kang the Conqueror, and even showed Ant-Man and Kang actually talking to each other, and Kang actually mentioned the Avengers by name. Of course, Kang is about to have his own movie where he is going to be the big bad of not just Ant-Man, the Wasp, and Stature, but all of the Avengers together in Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, and I'm guessing that Kang probably survives through that and ends up in Secret Wars as well. So if you want to stay updated on all things MCU, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Let's dive into this footage that was shown. So this footage has one of the best lines from a villain that I have ever heard. It literally sends chills down my spine just reading it. I can't wait to watch it when the official trailer comes out. And it's an interaction between Kang and Ant-Man, which we'll get to in just a bit. But the trailer starts off with Scott Lang reading an excerpt from his book to a crowd. He hasn't been in action in a while. Then he gets a call from his phone, and it's actually jail calling. He picks up his daughter, Cassie Lang, from prison, and he wants to help her but doesn't want her wasting her life. It's here where he kind of gives her a pep talk and reminds her that he saved the world as an Avenger. But it's here where Hank Pym actually calls him out for constantly talking about that and bringing it up. Then Hope and Janet also pile on top of it, pretty much reminding him the same thing. Perhaps the little bit of fame is getting to Ant-Man's head here. But here's where it gets just so good. It cuts to Kang speaking to Scott Lang, and he says, "You're an interesting man, Scott Lang." And then he actually points out how many years he missed because he was trapped inside of the quantum realm. He says, "You've lost a lot of time, but time, it isn't what you think. It's not a straight line." Then it cuts to footage of something in a lab exploding, and then all of a sudden they all start to get sucked into the quantum realm. They all end up in another world, navigating it in new suits as Bill Murray's Krylar shows up, who happens to know Janet, because remember, Janet was stuck in the quantum realm for a very long time. And just the fact that we have Bill freaking Murray in the MCU just makes me so dang excited. I love him so much.
Bill Murray! I had to get that out.
But then we cut back to Kang talking to Scott Lang, and he says, "Everything you are holding on to, everything you call life, I know how it ends." But Scott, maybe with some of that ego I was talking about, tells Kang that he's made a big mistake because he is an Avenger. And Kang asks him in disbelief, "You're an Avenger?" And then he ponders to Scott and says, "Have I killed you before?" And this has to be one of the coolest lines a villain has ever said to a hero before. Now, let's break down this trailer footage and also talk about why Kang specifically is interested in Ant-Man and Modok. They actually specifically showed one shot of Modok in this trailer. He had no lines or dialect whatsoever, but he was shown, so we'll talk about that as well. So we start off in this footage with Ant-Man reading to people, and he is kind of famous now. He has written a book, he's been an Avenger, he's helped save the world, and he consistently reminds, it seems like, his daughter, but also a lot of other people as well, that he saved the world. And it seems like Hank, Hope, and Janet are all kind of getting tired of that. But hey, it's understandable. He used to be a criminal, and now all of a sudden he's saving the world. He's writing books. He's reading that book to a bunch of people. He's pretty famous now. Ant-Man is kind of living his best life. However, his daughter seems to be getting into some trouble. Also, if you are not aware, they have replaced the original actress who played Scott Lang's daughter, Cassie Lang, with Katherine Newton. This is, of course, because Cassie Lang in the comics is actually the hero Stature. So it looks like they found an actress that is a little bit older and more in line with how they view that character. But some time will have passed as well, so it'll just be like she's grown up now. But Scott Lang, Ant-Man, has caught the attention of Kang the Conqueror for some reason, and we can only assume that it's connected to the quantum realm, especially since this movie is titled Quantumania. And it's good to know that Ant-Man and the rest of the gang seems to get sucked into the quantum realm pretty early on in the movie, thanks to this trailer description. Because if you title a movie Quantumania, you better spend a lot of time in the quantum realm. Now, Kang is the master of time, the conqueror of time. And as we learned from Loki, he actually started the multiversal war, him and all of his different variants. Then one of his variants, He Who Remains, harnessed the power of Goliath and he ended the multiversal war and created one timeline. However, at the end of Loki and Sylvie ended that, and the multiverse is now thrown into chaos again, so we are getting a bunch of different Kang variants. But it seems like this Kang seems to specifically be from our universe or has mastered or conquered a lot of other universes as well. This is clearly evident based off of what he says. He explains that time is not a straight line, and we actually learned this and it was demonstrated during Loki. So this Kang clearly knows how time works, and he's run into Avengers before, which is why he's kind of taken back when Scott says he's an Avenger and he responds with, "You're an Avenger? Have I killed you before?" So clearly he has dominated the Avengers before in other timelines. And also remember that Kang can exist in the past, in the present, and the future. He can go wherever he wants in time, which makes him extremely dangerous. He can pretty much control the events of the world. And I'm assuming that this is why Ant-Man has the attention of Kang. Kang clearly knows that Scott was trapped inside of the quantum realm. Perhaps Kang was in the quantum realm as well and even observed Ant-Man. But if he knows this, then he knows that Ant-Man is the one who kind of got the Avengers to be able to time travel. And that could have actually thrown off Kang's plans. If Kang knows all, he knew Thanos was going to eliminate half of the universe. And since we've learned from Loki that pretty much all of the events Kang lets happen, we can assume that Kang let Thanos snap away half of the universe. That was a part of his plan. However, what might not have been a part of his plan was the Avengers going back in time, collecting Infinity Stones, and bringing half of the universe back. Also, when the Avengers went back in time, they probably did create branch timelines, despite returning the stones to the exact point in time. I mean, after all, Captain America did stay back in time with Peggy Carter, and the entire timeline that 2012's Thanos, Gamora, and Nebula were in is completely thrown off now. And Kang doesn't just rule one universe, he rules multiple universes. Remember, that's the whole goal of Kang the Conqueror, to conquer the entire multiverse, not just one universe, but the entire multiverse. So this probably screwed up a lot of Kang's plans and his other universes, and it all stems from Ant-Man. Now, he might not know that Ant-Man is an Avenger. He might think that he's just the one that kind of told the Avengers about the quantum realm. Either way, I definitely think Kang wants Ant-Man because of what he did in regards to time travel. And I don't know if you've seen Jonathan Majors recently, but the dude is jacked. Just take a look at this picture. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for live updates like this as well. And last but not least, Modok was in the footage for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. There was just one single shot of him, but it looks like he's going to be a little bit different than we're used to. It appears that the character is going to be fully robotic. Apparently, there is still going to be the visual of a massive face, but instead, there's going to be the integration of a large golden face with crimson red eyes, all of which are apparently going to be mechanical. So this could kind of be like Ultron, but I'm assuming that at one point in time, Modok had, let's say, a human brain. He might have just moved his brain from his original human body to a mechanical body. That way it could be better protected. And as of right now, there's no word on who could be playing Modok. Patton Oswalt played him in the Hulu series, and I'd love to see him play him in the MCU, but no word as of yet. There was a rumor a long time ago that Jim Carrey might possibly play Modok, but we have not heard anything official about that, or even a rumor about that, in a very long time. But go ahead and let me know what you think about the footage description for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and what do you think about the new design of Modok? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date with all things MCU. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for live updates, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.